Teaching Reading is a program especially intended for our dedicated teen helpers and teachers. This series of programs encourages any visionary that little children not only can learn to read and enjoy doing so, but that you can teach and inspire them to actually read. Auntie Anne presents easy step-by-step lessons, having gleaned many tips and pointers from several years' experience with different methods in teaching tiny people to read. Start today with real faith and prayer, and you'll soon see results after only a bit of preparation and investment on your part. Even if you've tried and quit before, you'll find fresh faith and encouragement in the pointers in this series. Classes include tips on preparing the sight reading cards, the do's and don'ts of teaching, progressing from bold words to readers, how to encourage the slow learner, and reading by phonics. Remember, most of all, just enjoy reading with your children. Make it fun with no pressure, and by following the tips and methods here, before you know it, your child will be saying,
"I can read it all by myself."
You don't have to wait to teach your children to read. The younger they are, the easier they learn. You can start today to teach your children to read. Just have fun loving them. It's so easy to teach them to read.
Hello and welcome to our teaching reading program. This will be a series of how-to classes, and they don't only want to encourage you that you can teach your child to read, but they also want to encourage you to just have fun with your children as you teach them. We have a young guest on our show, little Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Welcome. How old are you, Chris?
4.
This is our wonderful rhyme book, which is a beautiful book for our young readers to read from. And Chris, you like poems, don't you? He chose a poem about a pretty little flower. Want to read it for us?
Yeah. Unto the flower so beautiful, the father gave a name. Back came a little blue-eyed one, all timidly it came, and standing at its father's feet and gazing in his face, it said in low and trembling tones, "Dear God, the name thou gavest me, alas, I have forgot." Then kindly looked the father down and said, "Forget me not."
Sweet. Thank you, Chris. That was sweet, wasn't it? Chris, we thank you. Maybe we'll see you later again, okay? Little Chris, he's 4. He's been reading for 2 years now. And he's just one of the many examples where a sweet, loving mommy or a daddy or maybe even an older brother or sister have had lots of fun teaching him to read. Now, there are a lot of good tips and good counsel given in our handbook, as well as in the book which talks all about our children. In this video, we want to give you some tips and some counsel from Glenn Doman's video, Teach Your Baby to Read. There is an article published about that video, or you can also read about it in Glenn Doman's book by the same name. Now, the amazing thing about this teaching method is that Glenn Doman started to work with brain-injured children. He worked with children who sometimes had even half of their brain removed by surgery because they were either born with a brain injury or had accidents. And he found that a lot of those children, even as young as 2 years old, were reading, and were reading very well, with good understanding. And all those children had learned to read at home, being taught by their parents. Isn't that amazing? So this then made Glenn Dolman wonder about what is wrong with the healthy children. When all these sick children could learn so well, it stimulated him to want to work with healthy children. So the main emphasis, dear Glenn Dolman stresses, is to just have fun with the children, to make reading a joyous event. And Glenn Dolman says that it has been found out that the younger somebody learns something, the better he learns it. It's convicting, isn't it? Glenn Dolman says that in his book, which was translated in many, many languages, and many mothers wrote in afterwards, after trying this method, all these mothers have found that there are 3 facts which are very important in teaching this early reading, in using this early reading technique. These 3 facts are the following. It is much easier to teach a 1 or 2-year-old to read than a 4-year-old, and easier to teach a 4-year-old than a 7-year-old. Teaching a tiny child to read brings great happiness to both mother and child. When a tiny child learns to read, not only does his knowledge grow by leaps and bounds, but so also does his alertness and curiosity. He becomes happier, his intelligence is increased, and he becomes much more challenged and fulfilled. Does this spark your interest? You want to try if you haven't yet? Well, we are here to help and guide you, and to help you take this plunge into this early learning to read experience. You also can experience not only teaching your little ones to read, but you will find that you can teach them encyclopedic knowledge, even your little 1, 2, and 3-year-old, about trees or birds or animals or flowers, actually about anything which you can present to them in a sincere and interesting way. One of our teen helpers, Keiko, will demonstrate this for us with some 3 to 4-year-old children.
Okay, girls, should we look at some picture facts? These are a set of dogs, okay? This is an old English sheepdog. This is a Pekingese, an Afghan hound, a Great Dane. This is a toy poodle. This is a Chin. This is a Collie, German Shepherd dog, English Setter, a Doberman, Chow Chow, Saint Bernard, Labrador Retriever. Very good! Now we have another set of words. These are our animals. Do you want to do those? Okay. Open your peepers. This is a lion and a wolf. It's an otter, gorilla, zebra, a skunk, pew, a chimpanzee, an Indian elephant, a cheetah, tiger, a white rhinoceros, and a fox. Girls were such shiners, just sitting quietly and looking at the cards and opening those big peepers. Thank you, you were so good.
Wasn't that fun and easy? But back to reading. Seeing all these wonderful fruits of teaching young children to read, It is not a phenomena that little children are reading. The astounding fact is that young children are not expected to read. Considering that a little child by the age of 2 has learned to speak a language by using just one of his senses, his sense of hearing, how much easier would it be for him to learn to read, also using his sense of seeing? It is much easier, in fact, to learn visual information than just auditory information. You remember 80% of what you see, but only 40% of what you hear. So you should consider teaching your little child to read as much easier than teaching him to speak. Because if your little one knows the word you're showing him, and the word is big enough so he can see it, he can read it. That's how simple it is. I want to show you now some excerpts from Glendomen's book, Teach Your Baby to Read, which you might find very interesting. Here are the things not to do. Don't bore your child. It is the cardinal sin. There are 3 easy ways to bore him. Avoid them like a plague. First, going too fast will bore him, because if you go too fast, he won't be learning, and he wants to learn. This is the least likely way of boring him, since very few people go too fast. Second, going too slow will bore him, because he will learn at a surprising rate. Many people commit this sin in their desire to be quite positive he knows the material. Third, testing him too much is the most likely sin, and this will surely bore him. Children love to learn, but they do not love to be tested. 2 factors lead to too much testing. The first is that the naturally proud parent wants to show off the child's abilities to neighbors, cousins, grandparents, and so on. The second factor is the parent's keen desire to be sure he reads each word perfectly before moving on to the next step. The next don't. Don't pressure your child. Don't cram reading down his throat. Don't be determined to teach him to read. Don't be afraid of failure. How can you fail? If he only learns 3 words, he will be better off than if he knows none at all. Don't be tense. If you are not relaxed, don't play the game by attempting to cover up your tension. A child is the most sensitive instrument imaginable. He will know that you are tense and that you will subtly convey unpleasantness to him. It is much better to waste a day or a week. Don't teach the alphabet first. Unless your child has already learned the alphabet, don't teach it to him until he has finished reading his first book. Doing so will tend to make him a slower reader than he would otherwise be. He will tend to read the letters instead of the words. Remember that words and not letters are the basic units of language. If he already knows the alphabet, you can still teach him to read. Children are wonderfully pliable. Those were the don'ts. And now the most important thing about this whole method is to be joyous. Love the children you teach, enjoy teaching them, and enjoy yourself. Have fun. 2 more things I wanted to mention before ending this show. And that is, first, even though Glendomen in his video and in his book speaks a lot about teaching babies to read, if you have a toddler or a preschooler or a middle-aged child even that does not read, just start with them now. Just use this method Have fun, enjoy your child, and teach him to read. Imagine the wonderful world of books available for your child once he can read. And I also want to stress here that this teaching reading method is not an overnight wonder. It may take 1, 2, or even 3 years, but it will be lots of fun and no effort on the side of your child and only very little effort on your side. We hope this first little program was inspiring for you, and we ask you to stay tuned for the further programs in which we will show you how to make the cards, what types of words to choose. We will show you how to flash them with the children and much more. So please stay tuned. Bye-bye for now.
You don't have to wait to teach your children to read. The younger they are, the easier they learn. You can start today to teach your children to read. Just have fun loving them. It's so easy to teach them to read.
Hello again to our teaching reading program. In the second show, we want to talk about what types of words to choose to teach your little ones to read. The very first factor to consider is that your little child knows the word he's seeing. So the words need to be familiar to him. For your little one, or even your baby, what does that mean? A little child really knows about mommy. He will know about daddy. He knows kiss. He knows love. And he knows cuddle. Those are some real fun words to start showing your little one. You don't have to show a whole set like these to him. Just show him 1 or 2. Just see how he likes it. Now, we want to remember that your little child can read if the word is big enough and if he knows the meaning of it. Something else to consider is that you want to choose words which are enjoyable. Choose words of things or people whom your little baby enjoys. Your 4 or 5 or 6 months old really might like his bath time. So words like water or splash or bubbles, they will be familiar to him and he will enjoy them. Now, maybe your little one really likes his pacifier. There's lots of different words for it. Some people call it dummy or choopy. Whatever word you choose, it makes a nice reading word, like the word choopy. Your 6 months old maybe likes his teddy. He probably loves balloons, and he most likely likes his cracker. Maybe we can see Keiko, our teen helper, having some fun with little 6 months old Peter, showing him words.
The balloon. Here's the balloon. The balloon goes boom, 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 boom. Wow-wee. Do you want to look at your words? Yes, you want to look at your words? Okay, look, there's a choopy. Peter likes a choopy. Wow. Here's a teddy. You like your teddy? Here's a balloon. Here's a balloon. Balloon, go up. Up. Balloon. Wow. And here's a cracker. You like a cracker? Yes, Peter likes a cracker. Mwah. You want your choopy? You want your choopy? Say thank you. Good boy. Good boy. Now I'm going to give you your shiner prize. Mwah. Come, sit on my lap. And I have something for you. Here's a cracker. Yummy, yummy. Wowee, look at that. Good boy. You like crackers? Yummy, yummy. Wowee.
Thank you, Keiko and little Peter. Was it fun and easy? Again, I do want to stress here that it's important your little one knows the meaning of the word before you show him the word written in print. But this is the fantastic thing about this early learning to read method, because you will find yourself on the lookout to increase your child's vocabulary. You'll be going around the house with your little baby and you will pointing out the vacuum cleaner to him or the telephone, the alarm clock. You will call things by their names and thus increase the child's understanding of his environment and later on use these words as reading words. Isn't that exciting? Please do also remember your little one never ever learns that easy than when he's so young. Little kids like books and they like animals. Maybe you have books or posters of these and you can use these to first teach the child the name of the animal and then afterwards use the words to to make reading words for him. Here we have the big African elephant, or we have the lion and the lioness on these gorgeous pictures. We have two cute little guinea pigs, or the soft, cute little bunnies. We have a cute little lion cub. Oh, the stern-looking gorilla. And I think this is a cheetah. You can use posters like this to hang around the child's room. Be sure you change those posters frequently, maybe after a week or so, and then show your child the reading word and he's learned to read their names. For your real little one, you might want to use a book with some simpler animals, like for instance this cute little book here, showing the sheep and the horses, beautiful farm scene. Teach him all the different names and then make reading words from them. Again, the cute little bunnies, teach him about what they eat, how they live. Isn't that beautiful? The cute turkey, the beautiful dog. Here, call him by a name. It's a collie, I think. Be specific right then and here and teach him not only that it's a dog, but what type of dog it is. Or for your little bit older children, you might have a book where you can teach them quite specifically about different animals. Here's a beautiful page about animals and their little ones. Teach him about the stallion and the mare and the little foal, or the ewe and the ram and the lamb. The mommy donkey, I think, is a Jenny. The daddy's called the Jack, and the little donkey, what's the baby donkey called? It's called a donkey foal. Interesting. Or the billy goat, the nanny, and the little goat kid. Isn't that beautiful? Teach him all the different ways of how a caterpillar grows into a butterfly. Use the words you teach him then as reading words. Or here, the cute badgers, the fox, the burrow. There's so many words to choose from. Here's a page about marsupials. Teach him not only the word kangaroo and koala bear, but also then write down for him the word marsupial and he'll have learned it for life. Beautiful, Or about the penguins. So a book like this can give you many, many ideas to choose words from. Now, back to your little toddler. Something they like to do is eat. And you as the mommy know what they like. You know their favorite foods. There are so many of them. Maybe your little one, he probably likes his spaghetti, his raisins for snack, and the birthday cake. So there's just so very, very much to choose from. Some categories you can choose from and you can think about might be people in books he reads, or the names of people in his favorite video show. Or you might want to write down for him the names of all the other children in your house. The possibilities are endless, aren't they? Now, another possibility is your little boy, he probably likes tools. You can take him out to the tool shed and let him touch the real hammer and the saw and teach him to be careful and all these exciting things. Or you can teach him from a book. This is a beautiful book because the pictures here are very realistic. Teach him what to use a hatchet for and how to use a screwdriver, a hand drill, here's the file. Teach him about these things and then put these words on the cards to teach him to read them, and he'll love these words and he'll read them. This brings us to a third point you want to consider when choosing your reading words, and that is to make those words interesting. Now, maybe I can give a little demonstration of what Glendomen means here by showing you some not so interesting words and some interesting ones. We have words here like, if you want to teach him about arm, you might want to be more specific and point out the elbow. Instead of just teaching him leg, why not be specific and detailed and teach him thigh? For back, you might want to call it the spine. You can teach him about the vertebrae. Instead of just head, teach him all the many different parts, and one part of the head is the skull. He might really like that word. So be on the lookout for interesting words. Maybe I will show you a book which many little children have, the Ladybird books, which are a real blessing, and maybe we can talk about some interesting words in here. Here we have a little train. If you talk with him about the train, you might as well talk about the engine or the locomotive, or you can call the caboose and have more interesting words than just train. Mittens, maybe if he really likes them, it might be interesting for him. Flowers, if you know the direct word of the flower, name it by name. The orange juice might be very interesting, especially if he likes it. Telephone is a very interesting word. Teach him about the dial tone, the speaker, the receiver, the dial. There's so much in here. A tree, well, maybe more than just calling it a tree, call it by its name, an oak tree or a willow or whatever it is. You can talk about the bark, you can talk about the branches. You find that you not only teach your child to read, but you talk so much about everything else that you increase all his learning. Balloon is really fun, and a fun word along with balloon is to teach him the word pop. There's the ducks. Maybe even just instead of just calling it a ship, call it the ocean liner. And then we have the moon. That's usually very interesting. A lollipop, very interesting word, a very fun word. The swing. Does this give you some ideas? I will show you another book here, a very interesting book all about appliances or machines around the home. Look at this beautiful television. Even if you're in a country where your child can't read the local books, you can Show him the pictures, use the book, and then use these words, use these pictures to make reading words from. The video machine, the tape recorder, a camera and a telephone. Isn't this a fascinating book? It's one of the children's favorite. The iron, a blender. Very interesting, isn't it? So after you've taught him the name of the objects, the name of the facts in these books, put it into reading words. And those reading words might be words like vacuum cleaner, or the blender, the video, computer. All very interesting words. If you want to make a reading category to show your child all about outside, let's think. There's the tree and the grass and the sky, but maybe we can get more interesting words and think about the bark on the tree, or the mud on the ground, or a centipede, or a worm. So far what you're considering when choosing the words is that they are familiar, enjoyable, interesting, and the last point to remember is they should be exciting. Exciting for the child to look at, as well as exciting to read. Imagine words like hat, or cat, or bat. There's nothing much exciting about them. But instead of just teaching your little one about a hat, why not be specific? Look for the details and call it a sombrero, or a lace cap, like the little girl from Holland, or a cowboy hat, or it's also called a Stetson. Aren't they much more exciting words? Some more exciting words are on this page here. You have a road roller and a caterpillar track and a bulldozer, a ditch digger. All these words are so exciting for your child to look at, as well as you can put a lot of excitement into it when you read them to the child. And a last sample here. Look at this page. We have the crash helmet. We have a parachute, the balloon, the rocket, a submarine. All very, very exciting words. Well, I hope that with this little show we could show you what type of words to choose, as well as where to get ideas to choose them from. The ideas are endless. There are so many possibilities. We will give you here just a few examples. Adjectives, around the house objects, bath time, Bible heroes, body parts, characters from books, characters from video shows, colors, cuddly animals and dollies, food, loved ones, machines, outside words, shapes, tools, toys, and verbs. You might think of many more ideas. The possibilities are endless. And remember, go for the specifics and be detailed in your choice of words. Well, I hope this was a help, and we come to the end of this show. We'll see you again to show you how to make the word cards. So stay tuned. Bye-bye.
You don't have to wait to teach your children to read. The younger they are, the easier they learn. You can start today to teach your children to read. Just have fun loving them. It's so easy to teach
again to our teaching reading program. I hope you have enjoyed our show so far and are excited and turned on about this easy to use and effective method. Maybe a little review. Please do remember that it is much easier to teach a 1 or 2-year-old than a 4-year-old, and easier for a 4-year-old to learn than for a 7-year-old. Remember that visual information is much easier to learn than auditory information. And the most important point about this whole reading method is that you should have fun, you should love your child, you should enjoy it, and no matter what, you'll have spent some very worthwhile time then with your child, having had loving, sweet fellowship with him and teaching him on top of it. In this program now, we want to show you how to make the reading cards. And the most important thing here is that we are speaking big here. We have big words. The words need to be big because your little child needs to be able to see them very easily. And remember, he can read them if they're big enough and if he knows the word he's seeing. So you might want to use a piece of cardboard about this size, about 6 by 22 inches. And you will find probably that your cardboard comes in a big sheet, something like this, and I got to cut 3 cards out of one of these sheets. You will find that the thicker the cardboard is, the most easiest it will be to use when you show your child the word. This cardstock here is nice and strong, and I can hold it up like this, very easy to use. It doesn't move around very much. This sample here is a little bit thinner paper, and as you can see, it moves slightly, and I have to hold it like this to hold it still. This is almost regular paper, and as you can see, it doesn't hold up. It's too floppy. So it is not a very cheap matter to buy thick cardboard, but you might want to consider to make the words well, because if you make them once, you can use them for many, many children over many years. Now we want to talk about the print. The print will be red. Red is known to be a very interesting color which shows up and children are attracted to it. Now about the size of the print. A good print size is about 3 to 5 inches tall. I have 2 different examples of print here I want to show you. This interesting word, very exciting, emergency. This is written with stencils. And I have the word Band-Aid here, a very fun word for children. This word is written just with a marker. We found that for babies and toddlers, it's worthwhile to invest in these cards made out of the stencils because they are much bolder. The writing, the print is much bolder. This is a much quicker method, and we use these words for the children from about preschool age on. I will show you how to make these cards. I'll start with the stencil. Now I got my stencil out of this publication here. You can Xerox the letters, Xerox them and glue your Xerox on very thin cardstock, then cut them out, and you have a beautiful set of stencils. Very easy to work with. Now I keep my stencils in this nice little envelope so I don't lose them, and I will show you about making one word with the stencils. I use my pencil and a ruler to draw myself a baseline. I draw this line lightly so that later on it doesn't show up and doesn't distract the child when he reads. I chose to write the word easy, and I take my stencil and set it out on my baseline here. Now you find out that you get to practice. You don't want to have the letters too far apart. You don't want to have them too close. You find that you get the hang of it to space them right. And I trace the letters with my pencil. Now this is a very fun project for older brothers and sisters to do, or teen helpers. They can do it during project time, during news time. You can even have an assembly line where one cuts the card, one traces the letters, and one fills in the letters. Lots of fun, especially since older brothers and sisters can thus help the little ones to have lots of learning fun. Okay? Does this show how easy it is? Okay, I'm almost done here. And the last one here. Very nice and easy. Good. Now I try to take a marker to fill in these words. Let's see, I don't know if this shows up. Here's my outline of the word easy. I forgot a little part here about the S. I try to take a marker, a red marker. Again, our print is red. Red shows up. It's a fun, interesting color. And I chose an indelible marker because I want to make the cards so they last, and thus it won't smudge. And I color in my stencil here. Again, the more often you do it, the more practice you will get. And it's a fun project to do for the whole family. I will just show you this very first letter here. There we go. Kept my pen so it won't dry out. How is this? Easy? It does take a little time, but it's worthwhile. It's a real investment. So if you can, and if you have the chance, please do try to make the cards this way. Now, a quicker method, and to be used for older children, children of preschool age, is to use just a marker. I take my blank card. Now, on this card, since I have to write the word by myself, I not only draw the baseline, but to make it easy for me, I also draw the middle line to guide me. And if you don't have a ruler of the same size, you can cut yourself a piece of cardstock, the right print size, just the size it should be, and it's very easy to lay down and make your lines. Okay, maybe I can write the word quick, since this is a much quicker method. I chose a very wide, bright marker, red again, and with a bright white edge here. Quick. Now you'll also find that as you make these cards, you get into the hang of it, where to start your word. You don't want to start the word quick up here because I know it's only the Q-U-I-C-K. Then your white border around it would be uneven. I will show you what I mean in a moment. Lord help me. Try to keep your hand steady. The Q, the I, the C, and the K. And here we go. That was quick. You see, I try to set the word so I have the same space on each side. It is this white space around the word which helps the child to look at it and to read it easier. Would I cut the card off here and here, the word wouldn't show quite that well than with that white border around. Now I will write on the back of the card the word in small up top. This is quick, and this is going to be easy, because later on when I flash these cards, so I can watch my child, I can refer to the word just by looking at it from the back of the card. And another good tip is, when writing the words, or when you have your teens or your older brothers and sisters write the words, to get into a habit of using a dictionary so we write the words right. Very good. Our last point here on this show will be about how to store the cards. Now, you've made these cards very well. You've put a lot of effort into it, so you want to take good care of them. You can either find a box, a long box, which will fit this rather unusual size of card, or you might want to get a box made as we have done here. Especially when you gather over the years a whole lot of words like these here, you need a strong box to carry them and to keep them in. These are about 300 words which we have used over 2 and even 3 years with many, many children. I've stored these words here in alphabetical order to make it easy to find them again, and I have also listed them on an alphabetical list as well as on a categorical list. And if I put a new word into my box, I'll file the word quick. Where is it? PQ. Oops. I put my word in, and I list on my alphabetical list here the word quick, and I go to the categorical list and find the adjectives and list it right here. Quick. So I think that's all for making the cards. I hope you saw how easy it is, how quick it can go, and I'll see you again with our next show where we'll show you how to flash them, how to use the cards. See you then. Bye-bye.
You don't have to wait to teach your children to read. The younger they are, the easier they learn. You can start today to teach your children to read. Just have fun loving them. It's so easy to teach them to read.
Hello again to our teaching reading program. We hope you have enjoyed the show so far, and we pray that you've caught the vision and that you have the faith to start today. Well, in this show we wanted to present you with how to flash the reading words, and we want to demonstrate it by showing you children of different ages. We start here with Keiko, our teen helper, and little Michelle. Michelle is 8 months old. Hi Michelle, you ready for some words?
Oh, you like my buttons.
So cute.
Here, you want to sit down? Sit down. Oh, you don't want to sit down? Here, you can sit down. Here. You like my dad?
It doesn't matter. Sometimes we show the words
Look.
facing the child, or sometimes the child sits on the lap.
And this is Daddy. And there's a balloon. likes bananas, right? Yes. And Shelly really likes bananas? Yes, you do. Yummy bananas.
Good girl, Michelle.
There's milk. Shelly Boo likes milk, right? You like milk? Yes. You like milk?
Good girl, Michelle. Good girl to look.
Look at the card. Good girl.
What a shiner.
Shelly Boo's
Isn't she cute?
Good girl. Oh, you just want to play? Look at. Stand up.
Little sweetheart.
Whoa, you want to stand up?
We love you, Michelle. Thank you. Thank you for being on our show.
Okay.
Little cutie. Thank you, Keiko. Hi, sweetheart. This is fun being here. We have a little 1-year-old here. Look at the book here. Look at the bushy tail, the dog with his wet nose, and little puppies. Monkey. Are they cute? Yes, a little monkey baby. So cute. Yes. Did you fall down? Sorry. Let's see. A big mommy bear and the little bear cub standing up. Oh, what's that? A rhinoceros. He's so pudgy. And look at his smile. Yes. Yes. Oh, what happened here? Look. A big, big, big giraffe. Oh, so tall. Good girl. I'll show you some animal words, can I? Look at this. Look. Puppies. Monkey. Lion. Giraffe. Look, rhinoceros. Good girl, yes. Good girl, clapping. Do you want to see some action words too? I show you. Look at this one. Dance, hop, laugh, kick, and run. Yes, good girl. Such a shiner. Oh, you see the book there, right? Look, the book. There's a mommy with her baby on the book. You like that? Then they go cuddle, 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 like that. Yes. Oh, sorry. There's no pictures in this book. Sorry. Good girl. Yes, you like the book? Okay. Okay, look. Good girl.
Okay, we're ready to do our fun word cards. This is Jeremy. He's a big boy. He's 2 years old. So Jesus, bless his word time. Help us to have fun. You want to do some Christian soldier words, Jeremy? Okay, where's your peepers? Let me see the big blue peepers. Big peepers. Look, Jeremy, look. Soldier, breastplate, shield, helmet, and sword. Very good. You want to do our outside words, Jeremy? Yes? Are you going to look at the words? Good. Okay, this is mud. Look. Mud. Thunder. Worm. Ducks. Truck. That's all done. Good boy. You're a shiny boy. Look at you. Good boy. Okay. So this is Mariko, and Mariko, you're a big girl, right? You're almost 4. Your birthday's really soon. You want to do some words with me? These are words that Mariko, you really like, don't you? These are some girl words that I'm sure all girls like. Okay, tune in, open your peepers, let me see them. Can you make them bigger than mine? I'm sure you can. Okay, Mariko, girl, pretty, cologne, and necklace. Do you have a necklace? You have a necklace, right? Yes, you do. And these are the months of the year. And we're memorizing those, right? We can sing a little song while we do it, okay? You want to do that? It says January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Very good! You were a shiner girl. That was wonderful, Mariko. You like those words?
Yeah.
You like reading, don't you? You're a shiner girl.
I like my name.
You like your name on this one?
Yes.
Yes, you learned your name the quickest.
I want to do my name again.
You want to do them again? Okay, let's see. Mariko, girl, pretty. Whoops, they fell down. Pretty, cologne, and necklace. Oh, you do have a necklace, yes.
Well, we have one more guest here on this program today. Hi, sweet boy. Want to give us your name and your age?
I'm being 6 years up.
It's Andy. Andy, you're a reader. You're a good reader already. Well, in this show, Andy, we've been talking about teaching little children to read. And the reason I wanted you to be here is not to teach you to read, because you're a very good reader already. But I wanted to show on this little show how we can still flash words to children who already can read. And I chose two categories here. Now, with all the other children, we showed them real big cards because they're still learning to read. But since you're a big boy already, your words are much smaller. I write them on an index card like this. And these are some words which I wrote down when we did our memory work. Because sometimes in memory work there's some pretty big words, aren't there? Okay, this says continually, conform. Remember, it says be not conformed to the world. Don't go along with the world. Enmity. Enemies have enmity between them. Exalt, like we're exalting the Lord's name. Magnify. Right. You remember, to make things bigger. Really make the Lord real big, to magnify. Good, Andy. Those are big words, and that helps to remember them, doesn't it? To see them written down. And oh, we're done with those. Remember the study we had when we had the bicycle? We brought the bicycle into the classroom. That was fun, wasn't it? We learned all the different parts. Well, afterwards, I wrote those words down, and as a little review study, to remember all the parts of the bicycle, I'm going to flash them to you. Okay? How about if I read them? Is that okay? The mud guard, the valve, the tire, the crank, the chain wheel, the pedal, the wheel, the hub, the saddle, the handlebars, the spokes, the brakes, the brake lever, the bell, and the reflector. Good. Remember how the reflector shines at night? Good, Andy. That helps you remember all the different parts of the bicycle. You have a bike?
No.
But you can read one, huh? You can ride one. You're a good rider, too.
I can ride both kinds. I can ride with chain wheels and without.
Wow, you're a big boy, Andy. Well, thanks for being here with us. It was nice having you. Let's just give a big smile. Thanks, Andy. I love you, sweet boy. Oh, such a sweetheart. Bye-bye. So this was a little demonstration of reading with children of different ages, and we will show you more of this in further upcoming shows. Now, there are a few so-called rules when showing those words, and one thing you want to watch for is that as you start out with teaching reading, you want to eliminate possible distractions as much as possible, so you will be sure to have the child's attention fully. Another thing is you want to maybe give the category of the type of words you show. Just like if it's a category of verbs, you can say, oh, let's look at some action words. Or if it's words about outside, you could call it the outside words. Or if it's machines, you can call them, let's look at some machine words. I do hope you see how easy it is and how effortless it is on the part of the child. But one very important factor, actually the most important one, is that as you show the words that you're enthusiastic about it. And something Glenn Dolman found in his work with all these many different mothers over many years, he said he could find that mothers fit into two categories. There are the usually very calm and collected and usually very intelligent type of mothers. He calls them the intellectuals. And when they show words to the child, they praise the child, but with very selective words like, oh, little one, this was splendid. Whereas he says there is another group of mothers, and by far the much bigger group, which maybe are not quite that intelligent, but they have much more success because they are enthusiastic, and maybe the child is done looking at the words and the mother will say, wow, this was great, fantastic. And praise like that is something children will much more appreciate. So be enthusiastic when you do it, and praise your child honestly, and just tell him you did great, and just really let him feel this. But I wanted to also share a few more points from Glenn Doman, from his book, Teach Your Baby to Read, about what else to do when showing the words. Good. In his whole process of teaching to read, he advises us to be inventive. Because children are all different, there are many small games that each mother can and will invent to make learning to read more fun for her child. Obey the rules, but go ahead and add things that you know will work particularly well for your child. Don't be afraid to improvise within the framework of rules which have been set forth here. He also asks us to answer all the child's questions. He will have 1,000 questions. Answer them seriously and as accurately as you can. You opened a large door when you taught him to read. Don't be surprised at the vast number of things which will interest him. The most common question you will hear from now on is, what is this word? That's how he'll learn to read all the books from now on. Always tell him what that word is. His basic reading vocabulary will grow at a very rapid rate if you do. Give him worthwhile material to read. And that is something we have plenty of. Thank you, Lord. And Glenn Doman here also states, perhaps the most important thing overall is that reading gives you the opportunity to spend more time in personal, close, and intriguing contact with your child. The mutual love, respect, and admiration which will grow greater through such contact is worth many, many times over the small amounts of time which you will have to spend. Good. I hope you are encouraged to see that if you just want to do it, if you have the love for your child, and if you want him to learn to read, you can. It's just that easy. Maybe we can talk a little bit about the technical side of how many words to flash and how often to flash them. As you have seen in our different demonstrations, we show words in a little group. We call these groups categories. We've talked about this before. And each category of words contains 5 words. We have 5 words in a category. Now, you can show as many as 3 or 4 or 5 different categories at once, depending on the interest of your child, depending on his age even. Like with real little ones, you start with just a few words, but as they grow on, you can easily show them 3, 4, and 5 different categories. And you will show these 3 or 4 or 5 different categories, each about 3 times daily. Now, even if you only get to flash them twice a day, you're doing great. So strive for at least 2 times daily to show them. Now, you want to show them at a time when you're in the mood for it and your child is in the mood for it. And you might find it easiest to get into a little routine of it, so that flashing words to your child becomes just as naturally to your child as brushing his teeth. It's just something in his everyday routine which he will do. So show him at least 2 times, but best even 3 times a day. So now your group of words, you might want to show him many words in a certain category. For instance, the outside words are usually very interesting for a child because the child likes to go outside and there's lots of fun and exciting words to flash him, like airplane and tricycle and skateboard and the mud and the bark, and the ideas are endless. Now, you show him his one group of outside words for about a week. Glenn Doman says that after 5 days of showing him a category, you start rotating. You omit the first word in the category and add a new one. Now, I found that 5 days is kind of a difficult number, and I found it easier to work on a period of a week. So let's say every Monday after your weekend, you know this was my new category, the outside words, and now I take the first one away and add a new one. Maybe I can demonstrate this. So I'll just show you this here with this little group of outside words. Let's pretend we showed this group for the whole first week. Our words are kite, airplane, tricycle, lawnmower, tractor. So that's our outside category. And now after a week, I will take the first one away. I'll put kite back in my folder wherever I keep my word, and I will start with airplane, but at the same time I also add a new word to the end of it. I'll show skateboard. So now my group reads airplane, tricycle, lawnmower, tractor, skateboard. The next day I will omit airplane and I'll add another new word, pool. I put it to the back. Now my group reads tricycle, lawnmower, tractor, skateboard, pool. I hope this makes it clear. We omit the one in the front and add one to the back. And that is, you will have to be careful though to make sure your words are in the right order always. You keep them in the right order, and then by doing this, you present the words very many times to your child, especially flashing this one group 2 or 3 times a day. Something else I wanted to stress when working with these categories is that sometimes you might run out of words. Let's say your category is, let's say maybe body parts. Well, there is a certain amount of body parts and you might just run out of ideas. Or maybe your child loses interest. He doesn't like the category anymore. Don't keep on going. Don't bore him with words he doesn't enjoy. So just drop a category. Or maybe you choose words of tools and you run out of more ideas. Just drop the category and start something new. Or even your child gets interested in something totally new and you want to put these words these things he's interested in into reading words. So just drop one of his categories and start a new one. Or if he enjoys reading a whole lot, add a new category just on top of all the others he does already. Something we experienced with working with teens showing words is that you as the teacher will have to show and you will have to supervise somewhat how the teens show the words, because there are certain mistakes which are very easily made when showing words, and we wanted to point this out to help you be aware of those mistakes. One of those is that, maybe I can show this here, that you might have words of different size, word cards of different sizes. Now, of course, if you start this method and you follow the guidelines we have given, all your cards will basically be the same size. But maybe you had some words from before already made, like this nice word banana here on a pretty nice thick card, nice big print. But if I slip this smaller word card into my category of foods, look what happens to my banana. Suddenly, it's a spanana. But I would read banana to the child, and that wouldn't make sense. Or if I have it this way, it's bananae. So you want to make sure that your cards are the same size, so your word really reads what it is, and you don't add any letters to it. I give you one more example of this. Here are two different word cards. A little card frog here and the dragonfly. But if I would use both of them together in the category, it might read like this. And that just doesn't make sense. So be sure, first of all, that your cards are the same size, so you don't have this mistake happening. Another mistake you want to avoid is when flashing the cards, to not let the child see the back of a card, especially if the word is written on thin paper. It often bleeds through, so you don't ever want the child to read anything like this, because it will just confuse him. So as you show this card, you would have to be sure you flash it. I don't have a category for this, but maybe I show you like this. You flash your word and put it into the back of your group. You wouldn't want to lie it down so your child would see the word written like this. You want to avoid this. You probably saw with me flashing these different words that it is easiest to flash cards which are made out of thick cardstock. The thicker, the better. They are just much easier to handle, because then I can very easily flash them just like this. Now, one important tip I want to give is that it's worthwhile and it's important for you to, as much as possible, watch your child's expression, watch your child's reaction to the words you give him, to see if he's interested, to see if he gets bored. You don't want to bore him. You can do this with the help of the small word we wrote on the back of our word card. We have big soldier here and little soldier written small here. Now watch as I flash this to you. I try to keep looking at you while I flash you the words, and I just glance quickly at the little word written on the back. Soldier, breastplate, shield, helmet, sword. Did you see this? So I try to keep watching my child's reaction as I show him words as much as possible. But again, to a mistake often made is that we flash the words too fast and then get unprecise. I will demonstrate this here with our animal words. Now, we have these nice word cards, and maybe I'll show you the wrong way first and then the right way. Puppies, monkey, lion, giraffe, rhinoceros. Whereas, if you saw, I moved my card before I said the word. So I want to be precise with it, and this is something to teach your teen helpers when they handle the cards. Puppies, monkey. I'm precise as I read and turn my card. Lion, giraffe, rhinoceros. I still go fast, but I have to be precise as I show these cards. And a very last point is, we mentioned a couple times so far that you do like to use good cardstock, because your card will last longer, it's easier to handle, easier to flash. But I do want to encourage you that if you don't have that good cardstock available, please don't let it keep you from starting to teach reading. I will demonstrate what we did here with these words. These month of the year, which Keiko was flashing to our little girl, they are written on what we called earlier very floppy paper. And it would be pretty impossible to flash these cards like this, because it would look something like this. January, but as I say February, the child can't see the word clearly as I say it. March, so that's not very easy to handle, and you would want to avoid this. But if that is the only paper you have available, let's try to use it by doing this. Take a piece of cardstock and put it on the back of the stack, and then you can even try, to just turn the card over like this, because it's not showing through on the back. And you go January, February, March, and so on. So this just to show you that you can do with thin paper if that's the only thing you have available, because we don't want you to rob you of the fun teaching your little one to read. So I hope these little practical tips were helpful, and we'll continue next time with our show, and we will give you some ideas of how this reading program is progressive. See you then. Bye-bye.
You don't have to wait to teach your children to read. The younger they are, the easier they learn. You can start today to teach your children to read. Just have fun loving them. It's so easy to teach them to read.
Hello again, and welcome to our teaching reading program. And in this show, we want to show you how this program is progressive. We call it a progressive reading program, because we start out teaching our little ones just lots and lots of single words, and then lead them up in a fun teaching experience all the way so they learn to read books. I want to stress right here from the beginning, and I think I've mentioned it once before already, that there is no hurry in teaching your little one to read or in having your little one succeed. Just take a step at a time, enjoy it as you do it, and have this beautiful experience with your child over a long time, even up to 1, 2, or 3 years. As you saw so far, we start out with the little babies and even the little children up to 2 years and even 3 years, just showing them lots of single words. That's our first step, the single words. You show hundreds of those single words, even up to 200. And remember, they all have to be familiar to the child, enjoyable, interesting, and exciting. And we start out with the babies and the little toddlers with these big, bold words using the stencils, or later on we go to this quicker method of making words just using a big fat marker. So after the single words and showing up to 200 of them, you go on to 2 words to show your child at once, which we call couplets. So these couplets, or these 2 word combinations, are lots of fun. This is where your alphabetical and categorical word lists will come in real handy to look over all the words you have available, you have introduced to your child, and to choose couplets from these. Now, there's different possibilities. You may choose a noun and a verb and have something like baby claps, or of course put the name of your baby in here, or Zacchaeus runs. You may have daddy sneezes, or mommy hugs, or here are the lions roar, Or you might choose two nouns and put them together as a couplet, like the orange and the juice, and you make your orange juice, or banana bread, banana milk, spaghetti noodles. All those are fun combinations. Or you have an adjective and a noun, like our fat rhinoceros, or the prickly hedgehog, or we have sweet honey here. Now, you see that in rewriting these couplets onto a new card, your print decreases, your print size. And that gives the child a very slow and gradual way of getting used to smaller print. Now, I don't want you to be discouraged thinking, oh, you have to start all writing new cards. Why can't I use what I already have? Of course you can. Don't let it discourage you. And you might just use the words you already have and build couplets from those. Like here we have Bartimaeus smiles, or we have Daddy kisses, or we have Johnny and he hugs. So that's a possibility. In other words, if you don't have time or you don't have the materials to rewrite the couplets onto a new card, just use what you have. Don't let it keep you from doing so. At the same time as you show couplets to your child, again, use those 3 times a day, show them to your child, continue to show him single words of new categories which he's interested in. If you find he gets all into maybe the computer and computer games, just make words about the computer and keep flashing him new words, single words, at the same time you show him couplets. But you also might like to show him words of his environment which already are couplets but are new to him. Something maybe like Xerox machine, or the vacuum cleaner, the garbage can, or little commands like turn around, wake up, and here's a real favorite, the ice cream. So, after all this, there's no hurry in going on to the next step. Just watch your child, see how he likes it, find good, fun combinations, and just have fun with your child. And after showing many, many, many couplets, you go on to 3-word combinations or little sentences. So you, again, use your alphabetical and your categorical list to find good little combinations. Again, the things you choose are all words your child already is introduced to. So there's nothing new for him. He already knows how to read those words. You just flash them to him and you read them to him, and he gets wonderful review, and he will very much like those little sentences you make. There are some real fun things to do, like catch the mouse, or you might have Mariko eats popcorn, or we have Chris likes waffles. The possibilities are endless. Now, it is advisable for these little sentences to rewrite them on a new card, just for the fact that by doing so, you again have to decrease your print size. You don't want to decrease it too much. Keep the print as big as you can, and as long as you can keep it big. Just keep it big. Big is our word with our print, remember? But by doing so, you offer your child a very gradual way of getting used to a smaller print size. That's why it's good to write these little sentences on a new card. So each little child is all excited when he finally gets to have his own book. And you will find that you probably will make his own book, his first book, yourself. Make it a homemade reader, something he really enjoys, something he's really interested in. Just find some pictures of it or draw a picture and put a few words to it, staple it together, and you have the child's first reader. I have a little example here of a very simple but cute little reader. Now, I myself am a terrible artist. I can't draw at all, but I go look around and I find a teen or somebody else who can draw, and look at this. A few words. All these words are already familiar to your child. He already is introduced to them. Now we just put them into his reader. Isn't that a cute little drawing here? Or then we have dress up, all these things your child likes. This is a book for a little girl. And here we have a simple little reader. You read it to the child and make a big deal of it when you've finished it. Praise him for looking at the words, and this will just be a real joy for your little one. Your little one might just be carrying it around all the time. Now, one thing you will find when making readers, you'll have to use words like the or a or in, and usually those words are not introduced to the child in flashcards because they're certainly not exciting or interesting. And I found a little idea to help with that is I make a little group of words which I call the happy helpers. And I explain to the child that I'll just flash these words to you. They're not super exciting, but just have a look at them anyway, because even though they are not very exciting, they're quite helpful. Let's call them the happy helpers. Words like the and is and that and a, in, on, all these little prepositions. Just put them into your little happy helper group and just flash them maybe before you read the reader or whenever you flash your other words, and then you have those little words introduced to your child. Here is another example of a homemade reader called My Bicycle. This is for a little bit of older child, and it has a whole lot more words. Again, a teen drew this. Here the pump is connected to the valve to pump up the tire. Here is the young boy pumping it all up. Isn't that a cute drawing? Just find the talents in your home, find the young artists and have them help in this way. Isn't that good? And so on. Here's the reflectors showing up at nighttime. You may find that you like to choose magazine pictures, interesting magazine pictures, and just put them into a book. Just a picture and a word. Be sure you put the words on their own page. Words deserve their own page. Don't put words on the same page as the picture. Or you can use photos. Photos of the child make a real fun content for readers. Or, I said already, magazine pictures, photos, drawings. And as you write the words, keep the words as big as you can. Remember, we always want to keep our print big. And make as many of those readers as you have time, as you have the chance. Your child might even ask you, how about a reader about this? Or you can ask him, would you like me to make you a reader about a special subject? Or maybe you had a trip to the zoo. Just put it into a reader. And after having made those readers, your child wants to progress. He wants to keep on going, so you'll find you probably have to go and be on the lookout for some readers already made and readers you can buy. Now there is a whole range of readers. I just have some examples here. We have the good old Ladybirds. The series goes up to the 12s, and they are good graduated reading series, which is good because they use the same words over and over. Here is another good graduated series. It's a Christian series from the States. Or we have this Ronald Rideout series. Fun, different readers. Then there are Bible book readers. More Christian little readers. from the States. Try to just look and gather these readers. Some of these we have gathered over the years. And one good little tip about these readers is that you want to keep them away from the children. Don't have them set out on your bookshelf for your child to just pick up when he hasn't read them yet. Keep readers away. Keep them separate and pull them out when you sit down to read with your child. And of course, you want to be on the lookout, even in these readers, that you find good content of readers, things the children enjoy, and you want to look for good big print. Here's a good example, the print here. Look at all these many words, but by the time your child is able to read all this, he can handle this print size very well. Cute art with it. So this was our show pretty much about this reading program being progressive. I want to mention here again, don't hurry. There is plenty of time. Just enjoy your children as you do it. Have fun with them and let your child lead. You might find when your child is ready for something new, ready to go on to the next step. If you find as you do this program, if you find that your child loses interest, pray about what it is. Maybe you test him too much, or maybe your approach isn't as joyous as it should be, or maybe the print is too small. So watch out that you please keep the print as big and as large as you can. And this is it for this show. We'll see you again next time. Stay tuned.
You don't have to wait to teach your children to read. The younger they are, the easier they learn. You can start today to teach your children to read. Just have fun loving them. It's so easy to teach them to read.
Hello again and welcome to our teaching reading program. We have so far shown you the basic principles of this particular reading program, and I hope I could impart to you the vision of how easy it is, how it's much like a game, how it's a joyful experience, and that there should be no testing and no pressure. In these following shows, I would like to try to give you ideas and suggestions of how to apply this program to our lifestyle. We have mentioned before that this is only one way of teaching reading. You may yourself have experienced many different ways, but in this particular case, which we have taken from Glenn Doman's book and from his video, you will find that Glenn Doman seems to be working in his institute by teaching one by one, like usually a mother with one child. Now, in our family, our children work a little bit different, and they have the beautiful experience to be learning together in a bigger group and with other children their age. So we want to see how we can apply this method to our lifestyle. I also will refer to some reading games in these following shows, which have the purpose of hiding the fact that we want to test. We have mentioned before that children love to learn, but they don't like to feel tested. It is usually us parents who try to want to see if what we are doing here really works, and therefore we try to test. But instead of outright testing, we can try to play some games. Also, I want to show you how we can find materials to choose reading vocabulary from in our existing pubs. And one of those pubs I want to refer to is here in the pub dex, is the Royal Family Index. You might want to look up in this index all about the subject we are discussing here. Here is almost a whole column all dedicated to reading. Now, this Royal Family Index is a combined index of all the childcare indexes from our children's books, from the childcare handbooks, as well as from the activity books, and you might find it very helpful to study up a little bit on it. Very, very interesting. Here we have the school days indexes and the combined index for the activity books, and in here under the title index, if you refer to reading, you again find a whole list of different entries to study up on. So please make use of these indexes and to look up in our pubs. Also, all the tips and suggestions I will offer here are taken from our pubs. When teaching reading to a whole group of children, you will find that there are times where you teach the group as a whole, but it is also important that you have the individual time with each child to give him that encouragement and the warm praise and the individual time with him in which a child thrives so wonderfully. Also, when teaching reading to a group of children, you will find you will need a person who has, of course, the vision for it to do so, who has a certain amount of drive to want to see it through, who has the ability to tune into each single child in the group so that he knows their aptitude, he knows what the child likes and dislikes, and of course it needs to be somebody who encourages the children and really appreciates them. You'll also need somebody who has a certain amount of organizational talent to keep all the materials in order, to keep track of the different reading progress the children make. But that should not be a matter of worry. I think this comes as you just start out and do it. So these following tips are now given in a progressive order, starting with activities offered to do with real little children, actually with babies. And just as you know that as we talk to little children, as we talk to babies who learn to talk, we speak usually much louder and much slower to them. And just as speaking clearly and loudly helps their hearing pathway in their brain to receive the messages, just so it is with their sight, their visual pathways in the brain. By us making the word cards real big and real clear, it helps the children to see it. So this is just as a little reminder again to be sure we make our reading material or anything else we want them to see real big and bright and clear. Now, with little babies, of course, we offer them mobiles. The purpose for mobiles is not only to entertain children, little babies, but also to help them focus their eyesight and to strengthen and develop their visual pathway. Now you can, usually when making mobiles, you use real bright colored balls or bright colored patterns, but you could, for instance, also just draw bold shapes on cards and flash those to the child. Hold a card up and let the child focus on them. Or you could use color cards, especially using bright colors like, for instance, these cards. Something like this beautiful purple here. Maybe not yet these pastel shades, but stick to the real bold colors and bright ones. Isn't that a nice bright orange? Not the gray, a nice yellow. So this also will, the child will like it, and it develops the child's pathway, visual pathway, which we want to work on. Now, we have talked about how we want to have familiar words, and thus we work on increasing the child's vocabulary. as we teach him to read. You find examples to teach young babies words from in our childcare handbook here, and this list on page 81 called Baby's Basic Words. And feel free to adapt these words. These just give ideas of what to choose from, make the words even more interesting, or adapt them to your child's environment. Also, as your child grows up and you find a lizard on the wall, or the mosquito, or a bee buzzing around, just the baby gets so excited about new sights like that. Use this excitement and teach him not only to hear the word, but teach him also to read the word right then and there. So then you might find in your nursery or in your room where your little children sleep that you have a lot of pictures around the room. There's probably a picture of Jesus, a picture of other loved ones or of animals, and children like those a whole lot. So you might want to just put words underneath it. And you might like to get into a little routine where you, before nap time or before night time, you take your little one and you go and say good night to Jesus and good night to all the other pictures. And as doing so, you can just point to the word underneath it, and the child will associate very quickly the picture with the word and learns to read the word. Please be sure you exchange those pictures and words frequently. You might find that maybe every week you exchange them, and maybe you can even have a designated day when you do so, just to keep up with it. And a nice idea is to take those pictures and those words and glue them into a scrapbook, which the child then afterwards can look at, and here he sees all his familiar pictures and all his familiar words, and it's like a little review system. When doing so, put the word on one page, the picture on the next page. Remember, the word in a book usually deserves its own page. So, of course, you also don't want to miss to have sweet cuddle time with your little one, to have that individual reading time with your child where you just show him books, where you read little stories to him. Most likely you won't even read stories to him, but you will describe a page and talk about the picture, because the little one is too young to really understand a written story, so you adapt it to his understanding. Now, I thought maybe I give a little idea here of what types of books to choose to read to little babies. We're talking about the age from about 7, 8, 9, 10-month-old. You want to choose books which have realistic pictures. I will give you a little example here of a book with not so realistic pictures. Look at this. Now, this book has beautiful bright colors, but if this is a little cupcake or the egg in a pan, it's just not very easy to recognize. So this, because of the type of picture, might not be a very good book for little ones. I show you this one instead here, and if you look at this cake, again, the cake on here, but then you look at this nice cake right here. Oops. This is a realistic picture of a beautiful cake. And doesn't this look nice? Oh, here's some more pictures, very realistic, very good objects. All the Ladybird picture books are beautiful, and they have very realistic pictures, all out of the child's environment. So these are a beautiful choice of books. Bright colors as well. And this brings us to a second point. Not only choose realistic pictures, but also bright colors. A little child's visual pathway is not quite used yet to pastel colors or shades of colors. So try to have nice bright colors. Oops. I think I have, oh yeah, this book here was it. It's a cute page all about these different transportations, but the colors are all just a little subdued, just not really bright. Actually, it was quite difficult to find a book a children's book with not bright colors because it seems very obvious that little ones do like the brightness in their colors. Now, when telling a little child, you have a little child on your lap and you teach him, or you read a book with him and you tell him a story, you might find, as I mentioned already, that you don't actually read the book to him, you just tell him the story. Just like, for instance, in this book here, real nice, big, nice pictures, bright colors, and the text here says, "Balloons are fun until they burst. This time Topsy came off worst." Well, that's not real bad. It's even a little rhyme, which is cute. But probably to a 1-year-old, you'll just describe the picture in your own words, to adapting it to the understanding of the child. You might find your little child doesn't take to books. Maybe he much rather likes to be crawling around on the floor and exploring things, or playing with his cars and his trucks, and every time you try to pull a book out and to have him sit with you, he doesn't like it. Don't worry, just don't force him, don't make him do it, just leave him and try in a few weeks again. The point is just try again and see how he does, but you don't want to force. Another very nice pub we have, which we can offer to the little ones and which they like, are the baby verses and baby quotes, which offer nice designs to them, nice pictures. And the fun thing about those things is, of course, not only is it the word, but you can also teach the little ones an action with it. And they like this a whole lot. Also, on our other video show, Teach Me Time, we've offered several little action rhymes and finger rhymes to do, so please do make use of those and teach them to your little ones. They learn a lot of vocabulary, they love to do these little rhymes, be busy with their little hands, and they learn it just by doing it. Now, when reading with an older baby, let's say about a year old, you find that different babies react to different things you show them in the book. Or some babies you have to go super, super fast, while with others they already sit longer and you can explain more things to them. But generally you'll find that with 1-year-olds, when for instance showing them a picture book like this, that you go quite fast, whereas a 2-year-old can sit and look at pages in this book much longer. There's much more you can explain to a 2-year-old than a 1-year-old. And maybe we can have a little session with a little 1-year-old baby, and we can have a little reading time with her. Hi, is this fun having you here? Want to say hi? Want to say hi?
Hi.
Good. Shall we read some books, baby? Oh, yes. Oh, look at this yummy cake with a candle on it. Want to blow? Blow it out. Shoes. Do you have shoes on too? Yes, nice shoes. Blocks and oranges. Yummy. Want to have a little bite? Yum. And a hand, like your hand, like this. Hand. Hand, right. Oh, there's some eggs in a box here. And look, some nice beads and naked feet. Pinkie Pie, yes. Is this fun being here? This is exciting, isn't it? How about this book, sweetheart? Look at this one. Did you see this? Did you see the balloon here? He's blowing the balloon and the balloon goes pop. Oh my. Playing with a ducky. What's that? A fire engine. Doo, 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 doo. They're children going over the fence. Oh, painting. Oh, what a mess. Oh. And there, look, having some ice cream. Lick the ice cream. Like that. Oh, sorry, sweetheart. Look, the mommy puts a hat on, and here's a kite. See them flying the kite? Ooh, run. And licking on a lollipop. Oh, the books, what is happening? I think those kiddos are looking for a mouse. Can you find it? Oh, where is it? He looks under the shelf, but look. Bye-bye. He was hiding from them. Yes. And what about this one? Oh, he is sick. Poor boy. Jesus, help him. Want to pray for him? Jesus, help him. Amen. Thank you, Lord. Drinking. Yum. Oh, playing with a little puppy dog. What says, playing like a queen. Look at us feeding the little bunny. Yum, 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 yum. Going up, up, up the slide and go whoosh down. Again, up, 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 down. Up, 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 down. Fun. Oh, playing on the tractor. Boom, boom, boom. It's raining. They have an umbrella. Oh, poor little kitty cat. She's sick a little bit too. I think she needs prayer. Want to pray for her? Jesus bless her in Jesus' name. Oh, better. Splashing in the mud. Oh no, I'm glad they have their boots on. Look at those boots. Yes, all done. All done. Sleeping. The kiddos are sleeping. Bye-bye, kiddos. Want to read another story? This one? Want to read this one? Okay, there's a pony and some wool and a truck. Some holly. How does the holly feel? Prickly. Oh, prickly. Want to turn the page? Good, I help you. To turn it? You turn it. Good. Potatoes. The swans with the long neck. Glasses. Turn the page. A puzzle. The hen. Look, she's getting a worm. And the umbrella. And paint. What else? Some onion. And a butterfly. So pretty. And some puppets. All done. Another book? Okay. Oh, look at the puppy dog. Want to touch his nose? Yes, his nose feels all wet. Let's see this one. Let's see. A teddy bear. A shoe with a buckle. A bag. Does the baby like to go in a bath? Yes. A ball. Go kick the ball. Yay. A car. What does the car say? Boom, boom. A kitty cat. A spoon. An orange. A dolly. Oh, cuddle the dolly. Want to cuddle her? Cuddle, cuddle, cuddle. And the water tap. A banana. A bite for baby. Yum, yum, yum. And a brush and a comb. A puppy dog. Go touch his nose. Yes, it's the same. You found that out, right? Puppy dog? A puppy dog. Right. The same. Good girl. And there's baby's bed and a chair and a bus. Boom. Good girl. Good girl. One more? Yes. Okay. Okay. Is that what you say? Okay. Oh, look. This is all about the beach. Do you see the children running? Running to go have a ride on the donkey. Can you find the ball? Where is it? Yes, the ball. Oh, look, there's a crab. Oh, be careful. Oh, no, no. Careful from the crab. See, feels sand. Sand feels soft. The rock feels hard. There's the donkey again. Okay, maybe we'll see this book later on again. Okay, another book? You want to see this one? Okay. Okay, so many books. What do you think of this one, baby? Yes, you like those other books better, don't you? Look, shall we try this one? Okay, okay, what do you see here? So many animals. Look, the horse is drinking. What does the cow say? Right. And there's little chickies. Beep, 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 beep. And the puppy dog. Look at his tongue is sticking out. He goes like that. Yes. Chicks. Let's see. Such a big book. Look at the cow. What does it say? Right. And some geese. Honk, 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 honk. Yes, little baby geese. And the donkey. And a rooster. Cock-a-doodle-doo. And the sheep. A little lamb. So cute. Want to pet it?
Pat.
Pet, pet, pet. And the horse. What does the horse do? Right. Yes, a nice horse. This horse is in the stable. A white horse. Turn the page. Good girl. And there's all the farm animals on the farm. The cows and everybody. The rabbit, look, they like to eat carrots. Munch, 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 munch. And there's a bull. He's a daddy cow. And the turkey, he goes gobble, 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 gobble. A daddy turkey. And the puppy dog. This is a big dog. See his tongue? And what else? The kitty cat. Oh, get that mouse. Good for you, kitty cat. Go get it. Go get it. And there's the goats. Look at their horns. Oh, I think we're almost done. The ponies and the little piggies. Pee-you! Stinky piggies. Pee-you! Pee-you! They stink, don't they? Oh, all done. All done, baby. Thank you so much for having time with me. Yes, you like your books. Thank you, sweetheart. Want to wave bye-bye?
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Thank you. Wasn't it fun to observe these little ones? They are so eager to learn. And I don't know if you noticed, but it was interesting to see how this little child did not tune in to this book with the unrealistic pictures. If you have of 35 pages, which gives you ideas about tiny people's work and play. So there's lots of material to research from. Have fun, and we see you again in our next show, Teaching Reading to Toddlers.
It's so easy to teach them to read.